Good morning, guys. So today we'll be starting, and I hope you guys have seen the live classes and you attended the class. So the topic today we are going to deal with is null point and apparent dip angle. I hope you remember dip angle. So what it is apparent dip angle, you might see in some of the numerical questions in the NEET or JEE textbook. So that's why we are going to take the first section, which is null point. So what is null point? Right, null point, as the name suggests, I would say is something where, what do you mean by null? That means there is nothing at that point, right? So when we move for apparent dip, before that we have to understand what a null point is. So null point, if I consider a point, right, at that point if the magnetic field is zero, then that point is known as null point, right? That zero occurrence can be due to any reason, but at some point, right, at some point if the magnetic field becomes zero, right, at that point the compass will be moving in a random motion. That is, the compass will not show a proper north-south direction. At that point where the compass is randomly moving is known as null point. And why the compass is moving in a random motion? Because at that point there is no magnetic field. That is, it is not able to detect how the field is flowing, right? At that point is known as null point, as the name suggests. Clear? Now we will I will show you guys proper way or where and all the null point occurs, right? So first we will consider a scenario to find where and all the null point occurs, right? So we have to use a permanent magnet, and actually that permanent magnet we can consider as our compass. So I'm first drawing the magnetic north and magnetic south. Now with respect to magnetic south and magnetic north, I have to find a null point around it. So I'm going to place an arbitrary permanent magnet in between them, and such that north pole is favoring or is towards the magnetic north, and south pole is favoring or towards the magnetic south. Right, now see guys, this north-south pole magnet can be even your compass. Whatever it is, I hope you understood. We are going to keep an arbitrary north-south pole of a permanent magnet between the magnetic north and south. Now, how the magnetic field lines will be there with respect to the Earth's field. Okay, how the Earth's field will be seen can be shown as per the figure. See, this is how the magnetic field lines was found, right? Experimentally it was found that the magnetic field lines is like this, right? Now with respect to magnetic north and magnetic south, this was how it was found. We are not going to the detail why it is bending like this. Now I am going to form the magnets north south pole directions, or I can say magnets magnetic field lines. See, the outer field lines is of Earth's field lines, right? The Earth's field lines are the outer four dashes I have drawn, and these are the magnetic field lines of Earth and magnet, right? See, they are opposite in direction, right? So I can say at some points where the magnetic field due to the magnet and magnetic field of Earth are opposite in direction, they cancel it out. At that point, or those points where the magnetic field lines are repelling, or I can say are nullifying, that point is known as null point, right? At this point there is no magnetic field, right? Similarly, this is the left hand side, right? Now similarly on right hand side also I can see a null point, right? So I can say easily, right? Now you understood the null point. I can say that suppose north pole of the magnet, if it is facing the magnetic north, then the null point is at what? Is it equatorial or axial of that magnet? It is at the equatorial, right? And at that point the net magnetic field is equal to 0. Clear? The net magnetic field is equal to 0, right? Now the equivalent point, right? Now there this net is also, I can say, horizontal component also I will deal with the next section, guys. We just find now net magnetic field, right? So when the north is facing the magnetic north, the null point is at equatorial position. That means at those points the magnetic field is 0. And equatorial points magnetic field equation you have to remember. What is the magnetic field at equatorial point of a magnet, permanent magnet? Please by heart it, guys. I hope you remember. I have derived it. Now next scenario is what happens that in place of north and south it becomes south and north, right? I'm going to reverse this magnet such that the south will be up and north will be down. Right, now where will be the position of null point? Now it was experimentally found that the magnetic field lines are like this. Right, when magnetic north and magnetic south are viewing opposite poles, right, unlike poles. So the magnetic field lines are like this, right, from MS to MN. Now again field lines of what permanent magnet I have shown. Now this is the field lines. Now tell me guys, from where or which position the null point occurs. Where is the point where the magnetic field lines of the magnet cancels the magnetic field lines of what? Magnetic field lines of Earth. See, I am showing a point, right? At that point, as per our what magnet's field line, it is coming into. Whereas if I consider the Earth's magnetic field, right? Earth's magnetic field at that point, it will be coming in this direction, right? I can say in this direction. So at this point, right, they are in opposite direction. When I consider this point, the magnetic field lines are in opposite in nature, right? I hope you understood. So they negate at this point, or I can say null point, right? Because negation means the net magnetic field which is cancelling out, right? That is, which are all cancelling? The magnetic field of the permanent magnet and magnetic field of Earth. So null points, I hope you understood, is up and below. And I can say they are along the axial line of the magnet. Clear? So when the south pole is facing magnetic north or north pole is facing magnetic south, the null point where the B net or the net is 0 is at the axial position. Right? So at that point, B axial's value you have to remember, guys. Right? This is a very important scenario in the case of NEET JEE preparation. Right, now let's take a third scenario. Right, suppose I'm going to write that main point of null point as B net as 0. Now the fourth section is nature of the magnetic field. That the null point, the magnet's magnetic field of, or the magnetic field of the magnet is equal to the magnetic field of Earth, right? And usually it is which component? Horizontal component, because vertical component is almost same, right? So which is changing? Horizontal component. So magnetic field of magnet is equal to horizontal component of the magnet. Sorry, horizontal component of the Earth, and it is in opposite direction, right? This important point I hope you understood. Right, so this is a very important criteria, guys. If you can by heart it as it is, I will be very happy. So what and all are the positions? Right, when the north is facing magnetic north, the null point is at equatorial, whereas the south is facing the magnetic north, the position of the null point is along the axial position. This much is clear. Then after that, we'll have to move on with the problems, but guys, I want to make sure you're understanding the logic of it, right, rather than going to the figure. See, at null points, we are sure that the magnetic field is 0, right? How we will be using it in problem is that at null points, we are considering the magnetic field of the Earth and magnetic field of the magnet are becoming equal. So which component of Earth I am going to take? Horizontal component. So at those points, see this, let's consider the second one. Null point is at the axial point. So axial point's magnetic field is what? Mu 0 by 4 pi 2m by x cube, right? That should be equal to which value of the Earth? Which that should be equal to BH, or the horizontal component of the Earth, right? That's how you're supposed to do the problem. Okay, I hope you understood this much portion, guys. I'm repeating it again. You cannot see this in your textbook. Now we'll move on with the numerical question, guys. See, please read the question while I am showing you guys. A small bar magnet is placed in with its north pole facing magnetic north pole, and the neutral point is at P. If the magnet is rotated by 90°, then the B, or the magnetic field at P, now is. See, when I am reading, I will be reading it first because I understood the question from one reading itself. So if you are not getting it, please pause the video, then do it. See, the scenario is the first case, right? When the north pole of the bar magnet is facing magnet north. So the figure will be like this. I'm not going to draw the field lines, guys. I'm just going to position the null points. I hope you remember the null points are at which points as per the, or according to the bar magnet. It is at the equatorial position. So initially, suppose this is the Earth's magnetic north and magnetic south. I'm going to place the permanent magnet like this, right? Right, the equatorial position is this one. So that point is P as per the question. That's much clear. Now, magnetic field B1, right, in this scenario is equal to what? At null point, the magnetic field is equal to Earth's magnetic field's position. Which one? Horizontal component, right? Now, this is again is the equatorial point as per the magnet. So, what is the equation for B1 or any magnetic field along equatorial? I hope you remember the equation I just told you guys. Whenever I'm doing the problem, some of you guys can solve it by yourself. So, please do it by yourself. Don't wait for me. So, it is mu 0 by 4 pi m by d cube, right? So that is equatorial. I hope you remember the axial one also, because that is required while solving the same problem, right? Now this is the position. Now I'm going to rotate, right? That is the question. Initially the bar magnet was like this. Now I have to rotate, means what the figure will be like this. So this is south. You can take either way. So position, the P point is not changing. P is fixed. I'm just rotating what? The bar magnet. Right, accordingly, this P is now along the axial line of this bar magnet, right? So that means now the new magnetic field, let's say it is B2, is again is equal to BH. Why? Because the null point is fixed, right? So if I consider, sorry guys, it's not equal to BH, because I can never say this is null point, right? Now I can say this B2 is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi by 2m by d cube, because that is along the axial point. So magnetic field B2 is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi 2m by d cube, right? Now what is this? This is only 2 increase than what? B1. So BP, right? That is net magnetic field is the sum of B1 square plus B2 square, because factorial addition. That is a net magnetic field which is experienced at the point P. So we are just going to substitute, guys. Now it is very easy. 2b1 squared whole square, right? So it will be 4b1 squared, or it will be root 5. So I'm writing it for step by step so that it is very easy for you guys. So it will be root 5 b1. Now what is b1? You can either write it as bh, or you can leave it as b1 itself. But the answers or the options are in bh. So the answer is root 5 bh. Clear? It's not tough if you don't make it tough, guys. I hope, see, sometimes the videos might be not be clarity wise, it not be good. So please listen to my audio also. We are doing the second problem, guys. A bar magnet with its north pointing north, right? Neutral point is at 12 centimeter. Another bar magnet is now placed on the first magnet. Then the neutral point is found to be at 8 centimeter. The ratio of their moments is. See, very easy question if you understood the logic of the theory part. Right, what they are telling is initially the bar magnet was positioned in such a way that the north pole of the bar magnet was facing magnetic north. So I hope you remember where the position of the null point was. Where it was at the equatorial points. So this is my okay. Sorry guys, I'll write it here. This is our bar magnet. This is north, this is south, this is our initial null point. Let's say it is P. And it is a distance what? How much has been given? 12 centimeter, right? 12 centimeter has been mentioned, right? Now you are told that the null point has shifted to what? From 12 centimeter to 8 centimeter, right? At that P, initially this B magnet, B1 magnetic field was BH, horizontal component, that at null point the magnetic field of magnet is equal and opposite to the Earth's magnetic field, and out of the Earth's magnetic field, which component it is? Horizontal component, right? Now this B1 is equatorial position, so I can write it as mu 0 4 pi m1 divided by distance cube, that is 0.12. Why did I write 0.12? Because it is in centimeter, I am converting it meter, so it is 0.12 whole cube. That is the value of B1 as well as BH. Keep it as it is. Now we are going to draw another bar magnet over it, right? This is the second bar magnet, it's north and south, right? So that now the null point has shifted towards, right? So that now this is 8 centimeter away from the magnet, right? So initially it was 12 centimeter, now it is 8 centimeter, right? That means new null point, right? So at new null point, again it is equal to what? Horizontal component itself, right? So it's in the equatorial position itself. So B1, but the problem is now in place of initially one magnet, right? Now there are two magnets, right? So there are two magnets means there are two magnetic moments you have to consider. I hope you understood there's a difference here. So B2, which is the net magnet, or B1 dash if you want, right? B1 dash, right, is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi, that, which let's write the denominator part, that has been given as 0.08 cube. What will be the numerator, guys? There are two magnets positioned one above the other, so the net magnetic moment will be sum of them, right? So it is m1 plus m2. That is a new magnetic moment of this entire scenario, right, at the point P, right? So magnetic field experienced at the new null point due to the presence of two magnets is this equation. Is much clear, right? Now I'm going to write, or how we are going to do. We have two equations. What can I do now? Guys, at point this point is also equal to null point, so that means at that point it is equal to the Earth's magnetic field's horizontal component. Now I have already written the magnetic field's H value here, so I'm going to substitute the value here, so that now it becomes mu 0 by 4 pi m1 plus m2 divided by 0.08 whole cube is equal to mu 0 by 4 pi m1 divided by 0.12 whole cube. Now this is just a calculation part, guys. By this time you guys can solve. I'm not going to tell what I'm going to do. Just look into the video. You will get the answer of m1 by m2. Sorry, m1 by m2 is 27 by 19. I'm not going to do it, guys, explicitly, because it's something which you can do by yourself. Let's move on to the next section, guys, which is again very important. I hope we can do the apparent angles or apparent dip angles problem also. If not possible, we'll do it on the next video. So what is an apparent dip? I hope you remember apparent shift, etc. you have learned in 11th. So similarly, I hope you remember what dip angle was. So we had a magnetic meridian, right? In that plane our compass will be making an angle, so that compass making an angle is actually net magnetic field of Earth, and this magnetic earth or field is having two components, horizontal and vertical. This much you remember? Yes. So this net magnetic field BE makes an angle, say delta. That's what we named earlier, right? I hope you remember delta with the horizontal, right? This delta angle is known as dip angle. What is called? Dip angle. Actually it is supposed to be called as true dip, right? So this angle delta is known as our true dip angle, or sometimes it is also called real dip angle. It's just like our plus one's true value and apparent value, right? Now I have not done the apparent value, guys, right? So apparent dip's indication is I. Sometimes it is del or it is I dash, it's okay. And there is a relationship, I hope with you remember, that delta is equal to BV by BH. We have taken it late initially, and I can write B is actually equal to BV squared plus BH squared. This also is easy to understand, which is as per our initial portion, guys. Right, these two equations I have taken. Please understand it, and if possible, if not, if possible, you are supposed to by heart it. So these and all, this entire scenario, I was dealing with only one meridian, right? These components, etc., this angle, etc., were all lying in this plane, and we name this plane as what? Magnetic meridian. So the angle which is made by the dip needle with the horizontal component, when the dip needle is lying on magnetic meridian, then that angle is actually known as dip angle. Now what happens if in place of magnetic meridian the dip needle is lying in some else, or something else other than magnetic meridian, that is, it is lying in any other plane, that plane is not magnetic meridian, right? It is just like, right, there is a book which is supposed to have the correct answer, but in place of reading the good book or correct book, I read a wrong book, this much. So this is our what? Magnetic meridian. Alright, now I'm going to consider this is the actual angle which is made by our compass or our dip needle, not compass, dip needle. This is the horizontal and vertical component. This is our true dip angle, let's say delta. Right, now what I'm going to consider, right, this is BE, let's say this is BE itself, right? Right, now I'm going to consider this is BV. Now BH is B cos t delta, BV is BE sin delta, this and all you know, right? I'm writing it because it is very easy if you understand the entire logic of it. Now I'm going to consider another plane other than our magnetic meridian. Say I'm going to draw it like this, right? This is like a book, right? Right. Now, in place, now this dip needle is to be placed on the second plane which I have drawn. Now say, and this plane, both the plane are having an angle, say theta between them, right? This angle, right? Let's say the angle between the two planes is theta, right? Now what I'm going to do is that means I have just shifted, right, this angle, right? It's very important, guys. This angle is theta. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place, right, a dip needle in the second plane. So what happens in any plane you keep other than the magnetic meridian, any plane you're considering and you're going to keep a needle over it, that needle will indicate itself, right, to the net magnetic field direction itself. But in that plane, right, always the magnetic needle or dip needle indicates the direction of a net magnetic field, but in the said plane. So this BE dash is actually the position of the dip needle in that plane, right? But see, it is not the actual net magnetic field's direction, right? Net magnetic field's direction is actually I have drawn before itself in the magnetic meridian. So this is actually a false indication of the needle because it doesn't have any other way. We considered a wrong plane. So this is the indication of the false net magnetic field. So this false net magnetic field also makes an angle with the horizontal of this false plane, right? Right, just like this horizontal component, this is also a horizontal component of the second plane, right? This is the horizontal component, right? Let's say that is BH dash, right? Let's say that is BH dash, right? Now this much clear. So but the vertical component, both of them, see this BV is same as that of the previous one. So but magnetic field's vertical component is not changing. So this green mark color, right, I'm going to mark it as green color. This green colored angle, that is your delta dash, that is known as our apparent dip angle. Clear? Right. So what and all angles have been measured? The angle between between two planes, angle between the horizontal and the true magnetic field, net magnetic field, and the angle between the false horizontal component and false net magnetic field, right? This much is clear. Now we are going with derivations, guys. Please listen. How we are going to move now. Now this BH dash, right, which is the horizontal component of the plane which is other than magnetic meridian, can also be written in the different form, right? Now see, I'm going to consider, or we will draw it properly without this plane structure, guys. So this is our BH. This is actually our BH dash. See, this is BH dash. So I can measure this angle between BH and BH dash is what? Theta, as per the figure, guys. Right, so this is theta. Now, now what I am painting, guys? The both of the vertical component, right? For both the planes, the vertical component is downward, same, right? So we can complete that portion. So BH and BH dash, remember, guys, you guys can make it, if you want, you can write both of them in BE. That, see, guys, now keep BH as it is, right? Now BH dash, if I draw it like this, I just draw a 90-degree angle like this. Don't you feel this BH dash is a horizontal component of BH? Right, see? It's just like a horizontal component of BH, where the theta is the angle between BH and BH dash. I hope you understood the figure. Right, so BH dash can be written as BH cos theta, but for both the planes, the vertical component is same. See? The second plane's vertical component is downwards. Similarly, the first plane also. So I'm going to write a vertical. See, oh god, it's not straight. I'm sorry. So this is our VV. Right, this much is clear, guys. So after drawing BV, I hope you understood this figure. Now I have reduced the complicated figure into a simple one. Now we are going to do the derivation. Now BH dash is equal to BH cos theta. I hope you understood how it is. Now BV dash on BV, that is BV dash is due to this plane. Okay, BV dash is equal to BV. Right, both of them are of the same direction and same vertical component. So BV dash is equal to BV. Right. Now, what is our delta dash? That is apparent angle. That is tan delta dash can be written as, just like the previous case, is actually equal to what? Vertical component by horizontal component. What is the vertical component? BV dash divided by BH dash. Now, in place of BV dash, I'm going to write it as BV, and in place of BH dash, I'm going to write BH cos theta. Right. Now, what is BV by VH? Initially, I have just written it. Just go through, guys. BV by VH is actually tan delta. That is the tan of true dip angle. Right. Remember? Right. So, tan delta divided by what is remaining, guys? Now, there is just cos theta. So, I am rewriting tan delta dash is equal to tan delta divided by cos theta. That is a relationship between apparent dip angle and true dip angle. So either one of them, if it is given in any problem, it is very easy. What is delta dash? Apparent angle. What is delta? That is a true dip angle. And what is theta? It is the angle between the planes. One plane is magnetic meridian. The other plane is a plane where the needle is indicating a false angle. Clear? I hope this much is clear, guys. So I'm not going to stretch it out. This and all equations is very important, guys. So what you have to do is, while listening to the video, make sure you are taking pauses in between the videos and listening. And now these and all the small equations which are mentioned, and this and all portions, textbook questions will be very less, but need questions are very large. So if you feel that I'm dragging, or these and all topics, since it's not mentioned in NCERT, should I drop it or not? But it's better if you learn. Right, either you can understand the logic, or you can just by heart the equation. But as for me, it is better if you understand the logic, then it will be remaining in your heart. Right. Okay, bye, guys. We'll see the next video.